Welcome to Realities. We are back. Say hi, G.
Hi, G.
We're back.
I'm saying IG.
It does sound like you're saying IG. We are back with our series. I guess that's what we can call it. About the success of a Black man or the successful Black man or whatever we keep changing it to every time we talk about it. But we have a guest and we're going to allow him to introduce himself because sometimes people don't want their government name, and I'll give him the Aunt Rhonda name, so I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? This is Raheem. That's the name I was born with. So
Okay.
Know me as Raheem. I do identify as Raheem because it is an attribute of God. In the Muslim world, they consider an attribute of Allah, which means merciful. It's a historical name that dates back even to the ancient Hebrew language, where the RHM consonants refer to the womb. So it's the mercy or the gift of life that is transcended or passed down, rather, passed through to us or me in this case, through the woman, through the womb.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, my questions went away. All right. So Raheem is joining us from Atlanta, from the ATL. Yay.
Yeah.
And we got baby Ray in the back.
Yeah, baby Ray. She's back here, letting her presence be known.
Yep, she's like, I'm on here too. So Ray of sunshine back there.
Yeah, that's my Ray baby.
Ray, you the last Ray in this family, okay? I'm telling you, you can't use
Probably not.
Don't anybody else have any more babies with the last name Cooper? You are not allowed to name your child Ray. That's it. She's the last one. That's it. It's 3 of us. That's all we need.
She said she wanted parts. Yeah, baby, hold it. She's sleepy.
Oh, okay. But we can still talk. We'll still talk with Ray. Sometimes this is why realities is realities, because sometimes Gina kids will pop in. Sometimes my kids will be disrespectful. Sometimes the dog will open the door while we're recording. So it's just what it is. It's our reality. It's what we always say. Sometimes that just has to be what it has to be. So tell us about your business or businesses. Tell us what your businesses are, who you are in regards to your businesses, what you do. I see your name is Brand Conscious. So tell us a little bit about your business side.
All right. So Brand Conscious is one of a few businesses that I started. Hold it, mama. I'm going to grab her, actually.
She says she wants to be on the screen too.
Yeah.
Look at little Robin.
What's his name? Stevie Wonder says, "My Sherry Amore. This is my Ray Amore. This is my Ray Amore." And that's, which also correlates to an identity of mine that I've subscribed to. And that's Delamore, which refers to everything that I do is done with love.
Okay.
I'm a musician, I'm an artist. All art forms that I engage in are really to express glory to the Creator, that which created all of us. So with that said, I started Brand Conscious. Well, Brand Conscious in itself is an entity that deals with promoting the idea of being conscious of your brand. So self-growth, self-development, representing yourself in the best way possible.
Right.
It represents a culture of being conscious of how you present yourself. Brand conscious is publishing. Is I know, baby. She's trying to grab everything. She's trying to grab the keyboard. She's trying to grab the mouse. I don't know if y'all can tell. Well, you probably can't, of course. But I have my music keyboard right here. And see, she wants parts. She sees playing it, and she's like, "No, you can't be the only one doing it." That and everything that I have, my mouse and everything. But
so you said brand conscious is production.
Is production. The main thing that brand conscious is a channel that produces conscious material. So it's almost like a triple meaning, or rather more than that, to promote conscious awareness, consciousness, being conscious of yourself, conscious of your history. We as, and I put this in quotation, we as Black people have been, duped into accepting many different false identities of who we are. And we become exactly whoever it is that we subscribe to. So we consider ourselves to be Black, we become Black. We consider ourselves to be African Americans, then we accept that definition of African American. And these are terms that, or labels that were placed upon us by that culture of colonizers who sought to confuse people by taking everything which is good and making it seem bad, and taking everything that's actually, against nature and making that seem good.
Okay. So in production, as far as the production part of it, what type of material are you producing?
So the type of material that's being produced is music, videos, podcasts, short films. I'm actually working on a storyboard right now for an animated film.
Okay.
So what made you decide to get into this business industry?
What made me decide to get into it was, for one, I was inspired by a lot of things coming up. I've always been into music, really, since a young age. Always been into media. My first taste of that was with my cousin Dutch, who had an untimely demise. He was murdered back in 2010. He was the one who exposed me to the music industry. And he had a studio in the basement in Jersey City where I grew up most of my life. And just being around him, being around other artists, doing some traveling to, various different places, venues, being around different producers and such, made me want to do the same thing. I was that little kid at the age of like 13, 14, when I first got exposed to things. I was just like, yo, this is so dope. That's how I don't know if y'all saw the movie Brown Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first questions I was asked was like, when did you fall in love with hip hop? For me, that was when I really first fell in love with hip hop. Was like back in 03. Between like 03 and 04, that's when I first fell in love with hip hop. Hip hop was really like what got me started in media production. One day he was just like, yo, I need help recording. Press that red circle button. And that's what I do. I press this red circle button, the red record button, and just listen to him lay his verses down. He'll mess up, or he'll be like, nah, maybe I should do it like this, and he'll change it. And I was just like, oh, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. So one day I found myself on my computer messing with this program that I just so happened to get from him called Magic's Music Maker. And back then I didn't know that there was a such thing called a producer. I didn't know there was a producer, there was a rapper. I didn't know there was those were separate things.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a rhyme and I was just like, yo, I got a rhyme, but I don't have a beat. All right, so I got to make a beat. So I took some song, it's probably a song by like Sister Sledge or something. And I was like taking songs and like chopping them up. And I was making my own beat. I was making my own beat and recording with this little microphone that I got from the dollar store. Actually, one of those microphones that messed up. And I don't know, me just experimenting. I took headphones because I thought to myself, okay, well, if you plug it into the headphone jack will put sound out, then maybe if I plug into the microphone port, it'll pull sound in.
Uh-huh.
And I plugged it into the microphone jack, and I was recording through my headphones. And in order to get the playback, I will unplug the headphones from the microphone input and put it into the headphone input, so I can listen to it. And that's really that's when I got started. So yeah, I was probably like 03, 04 when I got started. And yeah.
Okay. So let's talk. Oh, did you want to go? You had another question too, or you want me to go ahead?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So a part of this series is talking about the success of a Black man or the successful Black man. So what do you think? What is success to you? What is success?
So now, of course, I would like to answer that, as in a simple way and in also a complex way. So success is attaining whatever goal, that one has in mind to the fullest, attaining that goal, whatever it might be. For me, in my travels and in my journey of, business and business relations, success for me means doing exactly what I love to do, and not being bound by others' expectations of me.
Okay.
Doing what I want to do, being free in mind, being free in heart. Because I feel like that's the real goal for a lot of us. I know, mama. I know. That's the overall goal for a lot of us. Really, is to be free. We want to be free. A lot of us don't want to work a job. A lot of us don't want to subscribe to others' opinions of what we should be or what we should look like, how we should sound, how we should walk, how we should dress.
So do you think that it's a difference between just being great? I don't want to say just being great, but is there a difference in being great versus being successful? Or can you be both?
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference because some people can be great and don't know it, but some people can also be successful and not know it. But then again, is that really and truly success? Is that really and truly success if you attain, your goal but don't know it? Because you're not really filled in heart. So yeah, there's a difference, between being great and successful. Because you can be successful, like there's some artists out there that are, art is subjective, and good to say that art is good is it just depends on the individual who's observing it. But you have some artists out there that are not as, you know, decorated as others, and they're considered, you know, great by their audience. They're considered great. They're also considered successful. But not all of those artists consider themselves successful, even though other people see them as great.
Do you think that artists do you think that artists feel like their success comes from the amount of money that they make? So like if they're like, oh, okay, I sold all of these albums or I had all these EPs and I made this amount of money, I'm now successful because the chart said that I'm successful. Like I'm like Cardi B or whomever, #1 on the charts for however many times. Do you think that as a producer, do you see that a lot of your artists feel like success comes from the amount of money they make?
Yeah. Because that's their goal. If their goal is to make $1 million, then they become successful. If their goal was to have the fame, and they got all these people looking at them, and all these people giving them, you know, credit and holding them to a high regard and worshiping them, then they're successful. They're successful.
One thing I know, G got a question. G got a question next. One thing I do want to add in, and this is separate from the business side of it, but I think I have put this on our last podcast with somebody. I think, in my opinion, a successful Black man is doing exactly what he's doing. Like he is a whole father right now. He is in there literally flipping this baby upside down, trying to get her to stay quiet. He's trying to do everything he can do
He's
to
doing
keep
everything
her
but jumping
calm.
rope with the baby.
Right. If that ain't being a successful Black man, it ain't no amount of money in the world.
You ain't never
Look at her
lied.
smiling. She like, y'all talking about my dad.
Looking the whole time, I'm just sitting here watching and listening. I'm like, wait, what?
But I was watching him flip her upside down. I'm like, please don't drop this baby on this camera. Just whatever. But that's how you gotta keep it. Hey, they like being crazy. But go ahead, G.
It's true. All right, so I know, as far as me personally, I know a lot of people who are producers and who do a lot with music and TV and movies and things like that. Especially with you being in Atlanta, is it hard for you, like being a Black man, or just period? Is it hard for you to build your business and build your brand?
No. Oh, you had something to say about that too? No, I don't think it's necessarily hard. It's just about the time that you put into it and the energy you put into it and who you keep around you. You gotta have people around you that are better than you, so to speak, you know. People that are more knowledgeable in certain areas than you are.
That's why I got the school teacher on here. What y'all talking about?
So this kind of adds on to the how hard is it to be successful? How long have you been in Atlanta?
I've now been in Atlanta for 2 years.
So were you a producer? You said before you were in Jersey, right?
Yes. Well, I was in Atlanta for 2 years. Prior to that, I was in Savannah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in Savannah. And I was working with artists there and working with artists here. There were 2 artists in particular that I came to work with down here. And, you know, when COVID kind of hit last year, that kind of slowed things down just a little bit. But wow, so many things have happened since then.
So is it easier? Not easier. Do you find you have more, I guess, clientele in Atlanta as opposed to in Savannah?
Yes, absolutely. Atlanta is the hot spot for TV and film, but Savannah's also hot too because you have a lot of animators, you have a lot of fashion students there, and they're all studying out of SCAD, which is Savannah College of Art and Design. If I'm mistaken, they have a location here as well. So there's so many different artists and opportunities out there to work with different artists in both Savannah and here. But I would say here because right now this is like the media mecca. You find everything here versus Savannah. You got to kind of find those pockets where those people are and where they dwell. You know, you'll find that almost everywhere you go here. But there's also a fine-tuned filter that you got to kind of go through to filter out and filter out who you should work with here, because there's so many different people. Whereas in Savannah, you just have one dedicated like area of artists. It's like where all the artists, Savannah is one area. In Savannah, in Atlanta is you got South Side, you got up north, you got East Side, you got West Side, you got in the city. Is more spread out.
Okay. So what?
But yeah, in terms of it hard to find people to work with or hard to build your brand, I would absolutely say no, it's not hard to do that because the resources are available to you. And you'll always run into somebody. Like, there are countless famous people that I've run into, famous people that I got people's contact. I can just, I can go to an event or a store somewhere and I'll just run into them like, oh shit, aren't you, but not just like, oh shit, aren't you XYZ? But you'll find out that person knows somebody that you know. Because the industry is that small. Literally, is that small.
What has been, in your opinion, what's been your biggest inspiration as far as your business is concerned? What keeps you inspired?
What keeps me inspired is God and my babies. I also took on 2 boys. And they're 6 and 4. They're upstairs watching TV right now. But that's what keeps me inspired, really, because they have a whole completely different world to face than we did when we were their age. They have to be properly prepared and properly groomed to face the world as it is right now, and to also be prepared for what's to come when it changes. So, not just that, but one thing about me is I've always had a connection with nature. Always had a connection with nature. So, in a way, as far as art goes, I'm always finding something to do because I'll hear a pattern. And for some reason, that pattern just keeps resonating with me, keeps repeating in my head, keeps repeating in my head. I take that as God's talking to me. God is talking to me in some kind of way because I end up learning something from it. It becomes inspiration in some type of way for me, or it becomes this inspiration for someone else. I've done worked on music for other people, and it's become like life changing for them. I've been on different types of sets and been in different studios with people and been able to not only provide music for them, but provide an experience for them, from having something done. Now it's kind of different. It's kind of different now, being that a lot of things are done remotely. Like, you got to do something, send it to somebody. Whereas before, a lot of things were more so in person. So you get that in-person experience with an artist or a person that you're consulting with. but you also get to give them the personalized experience of, you're not just getting my music, but you're getting me. You get my influence. As a producer, it's totally different from like a beat maker. Like a beat maker's person that just puts some sounds together and just, here, I made this beat. You want to buy this? Okay, you get these exclusive rights, or you can lease it for X amount of time. Like, no, an actual producer is the one who actually produces and composes or arranges something with an artist or artists or other producers.
Okay. So within your career in production of music and videos, podcasts, all that stuff, what has been the highlight of your career, and also what's been the low?
So I'll start with the low. The low in my career was being baroque, being barizzo. Because it's a scary time. It's a scary time. You don't know how you're gonna, make things happen for yourself. And it's funny. I was listening to Nipsey, one of his interviews recently, and he was referring to how he made it, and he was like, "Yo, I don't have a set blueprint on," and I'm paraphrasing. He was like, he didn't have like a certain, a set blueprint, or he didn't have it all mapped out. But what separated him from other people is that he kept going. He kept going, kept going, kept going. And that's the thing that pulled me through the low, was to keep going, even though things may not be exactly the way I wanted them to be. Kept going, kept going, kept pushing through, and then more and more opportunities start coming. And it's very simplistic, but I read so many books, with so much compounded wisdom in it that gave me inspiration as well. One of those books was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Another book was by Herbert Harris called The 12 Universal Laws of Success. The list goes on, but those are some things that kind of, helped me along the way.
That's good. I think we talked about we did an episode on our mid-year check-in, and we was talking about reading. Let's just say everybody failed. All of it, we failed. Me and Jim.
Mind you, she got a whole bookshelf back there.
I have a whole 2 bookshelves back here.
See, I only counted that one because that one has more books on it. The other one's for decoration. It makes
they both do. That one has more of the.
Oh, you can't. Those are darker than the other.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. So your highs.
What's the highlight?
As far as my highs, I've had quite a few highlights. But my highs, I don't think I've completely reached my highest high just yet. But I have some key moments that I would consider highlights. They were pretty awesome. One would be producing with and working with a few artists I've worked with and been in the studio with quite a few people. Some I don't even know if I should name. Like, I don't know if there's like like okay to do.
That would be between you and that person.
People.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
They might be like, wait a minute, I need something. But just some very high profile people.
Exactly.
There you go.
No, for real. And then you want to keep doors open. Keep doors open with people.
Exactly. All right.
But some key moments. One thing I can say, just because it was, this was pretty public. I performed in the same performance set with Kendrick Lamar at Rutgers University. This was years back. Which was so dope. I was working on a project at the time, and we were putting together a pretty much like a tour run of performances, and it was so cool. I honestly didn't even know who he was, for real. I didn't know who he was, but a friend of mine at the time, he was like, "Yo, that's the guy." I remember I was telling you about the dude that popped off from the West Coast. He was like, "That's the dude. That's the dude." So I go up, I do my set. Um, uh, I think he went on. No, I think I went on after he did. Yeah. I went on after he did, because there was like two or three guys that went on. He went up, and I went like maybe two, maybe like one or two performances after his. And when he finished his set, we were backstage, and I told him, I was like, "Yo, that was pretty dope. That was pretty dope." Like, he had his DJ, Schoolboy Q was with him. Um, Schoolboy Q had his bucket hat on or whatever, and I was like, "Yo, y'all really killed that shit. That shit was dope as fuck." And he was like, "Yo, appreciate that." And before I knew it, like, one person walked over, like, while we were talking about music, hip hop, production, and stuff like that. This one person walked over, was like, "Yo, y'all really did y'all thing." Then like two other people came over, and that 2 turned into 4. That 4 turned into 8. That 8 turned to 16. That 16 turned to 32. That 32 turned to 64. That 64 turned into 128. That 128 turned to 256. Before I knew it, there was hundreds of people around us. I was like, "Wow, this is crazy." Hundreds of people around us, like, "Yo, whatever y'all doing, keep doing that shit. Write your name on my chest. Write your name on my back." It was pretty dope. Yeah, that's one. Uh, uh, now somebody that wrote for Rihanna. I with her. Been in the studio with her. Quite a few people. Quite a few people. I mean, it's a nice little list. Nice little list.
Okay. So wait. Go ahead, G. You got a question.
So since you said you haven't reached your highest high, what is your what would or what is your next goal? What's your next level goal?
So my next level goal, my next thing is Delamore. That's I'm putting out a project coming real soon. I actually was a bit hoarse this week. I was actually putting together this freestyle. I got a lot of new production that I've been working on. And let me know when we do a release of this, I could also feature a release of some things that I've already cooked up, I already got ready. It might be a bit premature, but whatever. Just throw it out. There's a lot of people that have told me, even some industry cats was like, "Yo, man, just throw that, just put it out there, just put it out, just put it out." So that's my next thing, Delamore. That's my Instagram name as well, DELAM00R, Delamore.
Wait, spell it again. I'm a little slow. DEL.
DELAM00R.
Oh, 00. Okay. Okay.
So that's new music, production.
Okay. So where, if someone wants to connect with you, if someone wants to reach out to you for any type of production, because you say you do music, you do videos, you do podcasts, you do
That's right.
create beats, all of that. How can they find you?
Right. Social media, Delamore, DELAMOOR. Instagram, for whatever reason, wouldn't allow me to put the letter O on my name for whatever reason. So I put the 2 zeros on it. But all over, social media, Delamore, DELAMOOR.
Awesome.
So as of right now, everything that you do is local, meaning like when I say local, I guess I'm meaning like all of Georgia. Well, not all of Georgia, but like the surrounding around Atlanta.
Or do you come out of that area?
Well, I come out of that area. I've done a lot of work in New York, New Jersey,
Maryland,
PA,
mm-hmm.
Maryland, DC.
Okay.
So many artists. I got a list of artists that I've worked with in production that I've done for a lot of people.
Okay.
But right now is more so like, okay, I've put in a lot of work for other people, and which I absolutely love. But now I'm putting together some packaging, some quality work for myself.
Amazing. And so I don't think we kind of touched based on this, and kind of going back real quick. We got a couple more minutes, but so as far as yourself, like you produce and do all of that stuff for other people, but as far as you are concerned, what do you do?
So
You
I
sing,
rap.
you rap, you.
I rap. I sing.
Do you
I
sing or do
produce.
you sang?
Sing.
I can hold a tune.
I can hold a tune too in my hand, like it's not coming out my mouth.
Hey, look, A B C D E F G.
I can't even do that. Everybody's art is different.
Hey, but look.
Fine.
So you sing, you rap. What else?
Yeah, I sing, rap, produce. Those are the main three as far as music goes.
Okay. And for those of us, for those of our listeners that follow them as well, you briefly did some work with what's his name? Big Dog. You did work with Ralph and them briefly.
That's right.
No, because I was about to
right.
say
So
Ralph, but then I wanted to say his business name. I'm just like Ralph.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Big Dog. Big Dog. That's right.
Was it Big Dog Productions?
Studios,
that's
management,
right.
production.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, look. You got it. When you mention that, you got to put some respect on his name. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Put some respect on it. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
but yeah,
look. Big Dog doing big things, man. A lot of artists he put me on. He put me on to in the DMV. A lot of people that got some great work, like a lot of I hear you, baby. You gotta hold it up, mama. Hold it up. Hold it. Hold it.
She's like, as long as you're here, I don't have to.
Right. You do it.
Uh-huh.
Right. She wants me to hold it. You gotta hold it, mama.
That's what dads are there for. Hold everything. Hold my purse when I get older. Carry my McDonald's. Carrying her to the
Big Dog. I help Big Dog to get some of the studio stuff percolating. What was that? Year before last.
Okay.
Year before last. Yeah. Him, Wase, Rick.
Oh, that's his name. Wase. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of his name to save my life.
Yeah.
Wase was the guy we was talking about. No, that wasn't him. That was Mr.
Mr. Perfect.
Roman. Oh, call him Mr. Roman.
You about to call him Mr. Roman.
Mr. Roman.
That's who it was.
I couldn't remember his name. What's his
You ain't
name?
talking
Mr.
about
Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Perfect and Wase are two different people.
That's right. That's right.
Shut up, Gina. I don't remember.
I thought I was bad. Good Lord.
All I know is we had the whole Cash Money record there the last time. So I didn't know. It was all a Cash Money record. Or somebody. Everybody was there.
Somebody was there.
Everybody. But yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to wrap it up. Baby girl in the background is wanting daddy time.
Yeah.
Gina has to go be a mom.
Oh, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. Yeah. One more time. I just want to put my social media up there.
Yes.
Delamore DELAMOOR. Shout out to Kimmy Amir. Coming out of Hinesville, Georgia. He's doing big things as well. Y'all can look him up. His social media is K3MII Amir AMIR. Who else is doing it?
Wait a minute,
Phil
spell
Nash.
his name again. K what?
It is KE, but it's stylized with a 3. It's K3MII Amir AMIR.
Okay, I thought you said KD.
The people that like that.
I thought he said KB.
So I was like, wait, how did Kimmy come out of that?
I know it's the
okay.
Talking through these wires, you know. Yeah, baby, I love you.
All right, so Kimmy Amir. Okay.
Oh yeah, another shout out. Yeah, another shout out to Phil Nash. Phil Nash, by way of Detroit, Michigan. I met him actually in Jersey. He's another artist that's really doing big things right now. He just dropped a project with his cousin Race Bannon. They both out of Detroit, Michigan. They just dropped this project called Meet the Prestons. Please look them up on social media too. Fat House Productions, Fat House, FAT House. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to throw them plugs out there.
Where was Kimmy Amir from?
Artists.
Where's Kimmy
He's
Amir
from Hinesville.
Oh yeah, Hinesville.
He's from Hinesville, Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Woo woo. Okay, so we'll find them and tag them also so they can follow us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's right. The plug.
So thank you, Raheem and Brand Conscious. I said it right this time.
Right.
Thank you, baby Ray.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby Ray.
Thank you.
She's busy over there eating the table.
Oh well. Hey, whatever makes her gums feel better. Let her be great.
Right.
Let her be great.
Oh yeah, since that day when she was teething, her two bottom teeth have grown in.
Oh.
You want to show your bottom?
Yeah, she was teething the day. You were out of town that day. I was gonna do it with him.
You want to show your bottom teeth?
Let me see, Ray.
She like, no. Get out my mouth.
I see people on the screen.
Leave me alone. Get out my mouth.
Trying to touch us. High five, girl.
Look, they frozen, man.
Y'all froze.
There you go.
Ray, you froze.
Oh no, she's trying to eat it.
She like, I'm about to freeze the screen for y'all.
All right. She was too busy trying to eat the phone. No,
Lord.
She had her chance. Her 30 seconds of fame.
Right. Well, thank you again, Raheem, for joining us on the podcast.
I thank y'all.
To all our listeners, make sure that you guys tune in every Sunday. The podcast drops every Sunday. I can't promise y'all what time, but it will be dropped on Sunday.
Really?
Don't judge me. Make sure that you continue to follow us on Instagram. What?
I realized why you couldn't make that promise. Sorry. We won't be there. Yep.
It'll get posted on Sunday.
As close to 7 o'clock as possible.
It's close. Exactly. But make sure you continue to follow us on Instagram at Realities, and that's RAIALITIES. We are also on most of all the podcast streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, blah 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 blah. Amazon Music, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so make sure that you continue to tune in. Make sure that you follow Raheem on Instagram, and we'll tag him when the podcast drops, and all of our social media also leading up to Sunday. But again, thank you so much.